It's fine. Thank you. Sorry. Hey everyone. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties trying to get this thing to go live. It was not wanting to use the camera that is on my laptop, but we got it fixed. So I am here and I hope that everyone is doing well. I have not died. I have not fallen off the planet. I have not quit my job. I am still here. I ended up, and this is just kind of a little story. The past 2 weeks, I've been incredibly sick. It's been crazy. I don't think I've been that sick for a while. But I'm back. I'm feeling so much better. And even on Monday, I walked into the classroom and it was like, guys, I'm back. And I'm like feeling better finally. It was nice to just kind of, I don't know, it was nice to feel good this week and kind of be back on my feet, which was really good. So I hope everyone's doing well. I wonder how I can see, like, can I see comments on this thing? I'm gonna get this. Can you guys like put something in the group chat? Is there a way to do that? Can you guys send something up so I can maybe see it? I don't know if it's working or not. So I hope everyone's doing well. I kind of wanted to get on and just chat with you guys for a little bit, answer some questions if you guys have some questions, mainly because I have been MIA for about 2 weeks now, but also because I think this is the time of the year where teachers start to kind of start finding their groove and they start to feel a little bit better about, what's happening in the school year. You've gotten to know your kids. And I don't know, I just wanted to chat with you guys, see how your year's going, how everything else is going, catch up on things. I still am not seeing any comments, so I wonder how I can do this. Let's see. This is interesting. I don't know why I can't see them. Maybe I can pull it up on my phone. I have been watching Stranger Things. I hope I'm not going to give you any spoilers in case you guys have been watching Stranger Things, but I finished the entire second season this week. Even with all the crazy that was going on, because there's been a lot of things that have been happening this week. It's really good. My mind was blown, y'all. My mind was blown. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone because I cannot see you guys. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I can hear myself on there. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. Do you hear me on my phone? It's funny. So I am not quite sure why I'm not able to see anything that you guys are doing. Oh my gosh, I see you. Okay, I can read your comments on my phone, but for some reason I can't see them on here, which is really weird. Hey guys. Oh, yes, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to show you guys. I cut my hair. It was really kind of like a spontaneous thing. I was completely sick one day and I did not feel pretty. And I mean, you're not going to feel pretty when you're sick, duh, right? But I make very impulsive decisions sometimes. And I just went to the bathroom and I'm like, what if and then I snipped it. And lo and behold, I couldn't go back. It is what it is. But I have always been a bang girl. Ever since I was little, my mom has always cut my bangs. As a teenager, I had the Selena bangs, the ones that are the huge ones that would go all the way up and they were really feathery. So I didn't go for the Selena bangs this time, but I do have bangs. Can anyone else not see? Oh, I hope you guys can see. Can you guys see? Is everybody good? Y'all can see, right? There's some of you that can't see on here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and answer some questions because I saw one that was really good. Oh, thanks for loving my bangs, by the way. Kayla, that was Kayla. Thank you for loving all my bangs. So Shannon asked, I got my student placement for teaching today, and I'm super excited but nervous. Any advice for the first email reaching out to a co-op? Just tell them. They know. They totally understand. Now, I will tell you, don't make it long. This is just my preference, but I cannot handle long emails because I'm getting so many emails in a day, cannot do long emails at all. So make it short, sweet, simple, to the point. Hey, I'm really excited about this. I am hoping to jump in and, support you with anything that you may need. Here are kind of some of my plans. I would love to meet with you, have coffee, something, or, before, after school, anytime that you're available to be able to sit down and kind of, talk about what I'm coming into. So that's kind of what I would do. And I wouldn't make it long, short, sweet, simple, to the point. They'll know you're excited. It's fine. Someone asked how do I organize my math small groups? It's chaos. It's chaos, y'all. It's chaos. Actually, no, it's really, really not. So I use the folder system that I have inside of my classroom, and it's on the little cart, and it has like the 43 folder. It's the 43 folder system. But that's what I use to kind of organize my groups. Right now, I have like this big, huge, like washi tape madness on my board, but it's blocked off. So I have lots of blocks for my math groups, and on those math groups, it talks about what are they focusing on. So it has their I can statement, which goes along, which aligns to my standards that I'm teaching. Then it'll have some activities that they're to complete during the day. But typically, I know that if I'm working on this, I have certain activities that my kids are going to do. But y'all, I literally put everything inside of the folder. I will use a sticky note and say that this is for blue triangle group, red triangle group, this is for my circle group, my hexagon group, and I will just pull those resources out as I need them. And I use that folder system, and it's simple. I don't really have like all these other crazy fancy things to go along with it, just because I can't handle it. My brain can't handle it. It just works best for me, works best for me. I hate that I'm like seeing myself on here. I don't like being able to see myself on my phone. It's weird. What is the 43 folders you mentioned? So the 43 folders is something that I think it's called a tickler system. If you go out and you Google it, it's called like a tickler system, I believe. But this was something that I got from David Allen, who wrote the book, Getting Things Done. Phenomenal book if you are in need of getting like yourself organized. It's really informational. He has like a great way of reading it. I listened to it on an audiobook just because it's so much better for me. But I have also read a copy. So I have the first copy that I got from him. I actually read it. And the second one, I got it as an audiobook. And I loved it. It was great. It's a fantastic book, helps you really get organized. And so he talks about having a tickler system and really kind of managing certain things, certain items. You have to have an inbox, you have to have certain things. But when you go to file resources away, things that you're going to need on a certain day, he refers to bills, but y'all, I'm referring it to teachers. So like if I have certain assignments that I'm going to use on certain days, certain activities that I'm going to do on certain days, I will place it in one of the folders. So essentially you have a set of folders that are labeled 1 to 31 for 31 possible days in a month. And then you have a separate set of folders, and I color code it. So the numbers are all one color, and then the months are a separate color. So you have one folder for each possible month in a year. So from January all the way to December. And you kind of keep the month that you're in and the day that you're in up front. And so as you're going through, you can file it in that day. So like right now in my classroom, I have, what's today? Today's the 3rd. I have the 6th ready to go. 3, 4, 5, yeah. So the 6th is Monday. So the Monday is right up front, ready to go. It has all of my resources that I'm using for the 6th. If I don't know what day that I'm going to use it in, this is where the months come in handy, because I can say, hey, this is a really good activity. I really like this. I may end up using it in December. I just don't know what day I'm going to use it yet, but I'm going to put it in the December folder. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It is a great, this was nothing that I came up with in my brain. This was all like research stuff that other people with phenomenal minds have come up with. So definitely check it out if you have not. Oh my goodness, you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, how do I keep up with grading? Right now, I have not kept up with grading. You guys are gonna see a vlog. I did not put it up for tomorrow morning. Sorry, but I am gonna have it go up on Sunday morning. In that vlog, I kind of talk about my grading. Right now, it is a little bit past due, just with me being out. I was honestly out for. I totaled it up out of the 2 weeks, 5 days. So I was out for a full week the past 2 weeks. So I am a little bit behind on it. But what I will typically do is my quick checks, I will try to grade them right then and there. I will have my answer key out. And as I give kids quick checks, I'll quickly grade them. I'll stick them inside of my planner where I have like my checklists, and I'll kind of check them off and then file them away where they're supposed to go. And then I have like a little bin inside of my closet that says that needs to be graded, and I will grade those as it comes. Now, here's what I've been doing to try to get myself caught up. The things that I am past due on, I'm just past due on at the moment. I put those inside of the file system, and I've been taking out about like 2 or 3 stacks a day to try to get myself caught up so that I don't stay behind. I'm trying. Vlogs come back Sunday. So it'll be back on Sunday. I'm sorry, I didn't get it up for tomorrow. I came home and I ended up just resting. Actually, there's some progress that's going on in my kitchen right now, so I came home excited to do stuff in my kitchen, to be honest. Thanks for loving on the bangs again. You guys are so sweet. I am feeling better. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I'm like looking at my phone, but this is the only way I'm able to see the comments, y'all. I'm so sorry. Oh, holiday performance song for kindergarten. We didn't really do holidays, like songs in kindergarten. I did poetry, but I never did actual songs in kindergarten. We had a kindergarten like December party, and that was really about it. But they had like activities and games, and they had some cute things that they did there, but no songs. So I'm sorry, but I don't have anything to help you out there. Sorry. Um, let's see. Okay, advice for teachers. I'm 21. This is from Connor. Hey, Connor. Advice for young teachers. I'm 21 and teach 11 to 18-year-olds. They have an obsession with my age. Yeah, they're going to, and it's fine. They're going to think, whoa, you're really young. That's pretty cool. My kids do the same thing, but not because of my age, because I act way younger than I should. And that's totally fine. I guess the biggest thing that I would say, especially for young teachers, is that you need to go in with setting that boundary between, yes, I am young, but at the same time, here's a me and here's you. Like, I still have a level of authority inside of this class. And I can't really say it from the perspective of like being a teacher, because when I started teaching, I was 26 going on 27. So I was already a little bit older in my life when I first started teaching. But I can say that when I was really young, I was a waitress for Red Lobster in Houston, Texas. And I soon, like, school wasn't my thing. I wasn't doing well in school. I didn't care about school. I was making other choices in life during that time. And I ended up going and becoming a culinary manager for Red Lobster at that time. And I was 18 years old. I was 18. So, oh no, I was 19. So I was 19 years old as a culinary manager at Red Lobster. So that was a place where I had to definitely kind of set the line and say, I get it. I know that I'm young, but here is where, like, I had to be extremely professional and kind of set those boundaries. And even now, like, because of my personality and how I tend to I am a little bit more laid back, and I am a little bit more silly with the kids, and I have a tendency to kind of be fun. Like, I like to have fun. That's just who I am. It's my personality. It's who I will always be. And I will tell my kids, I'm like, listen, there is a time for fun, and then there's a time for business. So we need to learn the boundary. We need to know how to figure out which one's which, and know that balance between having fun and also meaning business. My lighting changed. That was odd. So I hope that helps. Just go in saying, this is the way it's going to be. Let's see. What has been the best thing for you this year? And this is from Michelle. The best thing for me this year, the MAC team has definitely been the absolute best thing for me this year. Last year, I struggled just a little bit. Let me see if I can fix my lighting. Super close up, y'all. Um, Last year, I struggled a little bit because I only taught one subject. Well, I was an ELA teacher. So I went from kindergarten where I was teaching all of the subjects. And then all of a sudden I was teaching fourth grade, which was a big jump. But then I was only teaching ELA. And it just wasn't, I love reading. Reading is probably it's absolutely by far my favorite subject. But at the same time, I felt like there was something missing in my day. And the MAC team has truly allowed me to be happy again. I am just that teacher that needs to teach all the subjects. I need to experience it all. I like to make those connections with all of them. I like the integration of it all. So I don't know. That's been my best thing. It's made me very, very happy. And I don't know if that's been a combination of just like being in my new house and then also having this job, and everything just seems to be falling in place for me this year. Whereas last year it was a little bit of a struggle with move and everything else. So hope that answers your question. Let's see. Does your school have an IB program? I don't know what an IB program is. Sorry, I don't know what that is. Um, Ashley says, "You're back. I've missed you and your vlog so much. I'm late in the game. Sorry if you've already answered this, but are you okay?" I'm totally fine. I was just really, really sick, but I'm fine. Thanks for asking. What's your tattoo? So it's Mexican eagle. My family is from Mexico, and this is one of those eagles. If you ever drink the Mexican like drinks, they're called jarritos, and jarritos have this symbol inside of the cap, so you can look at the cap, and the cap has this little Mexican symbol in it. Lots of good memories with some jarritos. Go ask Mr. G about the jarritos incident in Mexico with me, and he will tell you, and it's hilarious. Good times, Mr. G and I, and some jarritos. But that's what it is. Sorry. Let's see. Kristen, I'm starting my solo week for student teaching next week. So nervous, but excited. Any advice? Take it slow. Don't think you have to cram everything in. Don't think that everything has to be absolutely perfect. You know what? If you feel like something's not going right, you stop it right then and say, "Hey guys, this isn't going right. Let's see how we can fix this. Let's do something different." And it's going to be fine. I promise you, you will end up making mistakes. Even today, I will have lessons that are not as wonderful as what I would want them to be, and they feel like they're bombing, but I'll stop it immediately and just say, "Hey guys, I don't think this is quite working for us. Maybe we need to revisit it and try something a little bit different." So take it slow. Enjoy the time. Really make sure that you're focusing a lot on getting to know the students and building those relationships with them too. So, do you have favorite students? No, I love all my babies. I seriously do, y'all. Like, I have the best class, and I'm so excited that I have them for 3 years. So excited. Um, how many years have you been teaching, and how long did it take you to get the hang of it completely? Hashtag love your channel. Hashtag love you. Um, I have been teaching now for 6 years. So this is my 6th year teaching. Getting the hang of it. I don't think you really ever get the hang of it, to be honest. I feel like there's always going to be something that you end up tweaking and changing and making it different and figuring out your way. I think the way I'm going to just like rephrase your question is to say that how did I start, like, when did I start to kind of find me as a teacher? It was in my second going into my third year. It was in my second going into my third year. And then that was truly when I started to really explore and figure out who I was as a teacher and my teaching methods, because how I teach may not be how the teacher next door teaches. And that doesn't mean that the way that she teaches is wrong. And it doesn't mean that the way that I teach is wrong either. It just means we have two totally different teaching styles, which is completely fine. So I've learned who I am as a teacher, and I've learned to embrace that. And yeah, it took me second going into my third year of teaching. Hope that answers my question. Will you be doing Vlogmas? No, sorry. Y'all, listen, I tried to do it last year, and I know I had like other things that were going on last year, especially with just like the transition and everything. And then I tried to do Vlogmas like some crazy person. I am not going to do Vlogmas this year for a few different reasons. Mainly one, because I have a job. I work from 6 o'clock to I don't get home until like 5:30. And by the time I can get home and I have to edit and then I have to put it up, I'm not spending any time with my children. And I think last year I really, really love Christmas and I really love the holidays and I really want to just embrace it and enjoy it this year and soak it all in for what it is. So I am taking it very slow and I am enjoying every single minute of it, especially with just being with my boys and kind of making sure that I'm giving my family their family time. Do you know what I mean? Hope you know what I mean. Are you bilingual? Sí, I speak Spanish. Sometimes not very good Spanish, but I do speak Spanish. Let's see. What do you want to change your teaching grade? Love you so much. Watch all your old videos. Madison. Madison, did I say that right? That's such a pretty way of spelling your name. I really, really like that. That's pretty. I don't think so. I mean, I'm always up for change because I like the change. I like trying things that are different. I like to get challenged and I don't want to fall into a rut. And I feel like the more and the longer that you stay in a grade, the easier it is to fall into that rut and not want to kind of explore and change with the way education is changing. So I'm always open and willing to go to a different grade. Never not willing to do that. This year I'm doing 5th and 6th grade and 4th grade at the same time. So that's a little bit of a grade change for me, but it's not like I'm going to go say I'm going to go find a different job. I'm not going to find a different job. I love where I'm at. I love my district. I love their philosophies for teaching and for education and where it should be going in the future. I love my school and my community and everything's just like perfect for me. So I'm not changing it anytime soon. Oh, IB is international bachelor. It has a program in elementary school. No, we don't have that. Don't have that at our school. Let's see. Anna says, how did you find a job? I'm about to graduate from the community college. So my first job, I actually got it straight out of student teaching. So I student taught at the school that I got my job at. So when I was in kindergarten, I student taught in 3rd grade, got the job for kindergarten the year that I graduated. So I taught there. And then this job, I came during spring break when I was still teaching in Alabama as a kindergarten teacher, came during spring break because I knew that this is where I wanted to move to, and this is Pennsylvania. So I knew that Pennsylvania was where I wanted to take my family. And I came during spring break and started dropping off my resumes and I sent emails and I remember sending, and I would kind of almost had lost all hope. I started sending emails out and I sent an email out to this principal. He replied to me at like 9:30 at night. I still remember it, 9:30 at night. And I ran out of the house screaming because I was so excited. He wanted to have an interview with me. So by emailing and just kind of annoying the crud out of people, I feel like that's kind of how I did it. I've been waiting for a live stream forever. It's so fun. I love you. You guys are so awesome. Do the kids love your reading class style? Some of them do and some of them don't, and that's totally okay. I'm noticing that there are certain kids that I'm a little much for them with my way of and how I do things, and they will like to go and work in. They prefer to have a different teacher for a different class, and that's totally fine. I never ever want to believe that every single kid is going to like me, or that every single kid is going to love the way that I teach. I would never ever think that. So it's fine. No, they don't. Not everybody's gonna like me. It's okay. Let's see. You promised doing a tour of your new house. When will you do it? I am gonna do a tour of my house. However, I am in the process of trying to start up a second channel for home stuff. I know that so many of you really, really like it and you want to see things with my house, and I really enjoy it. It's something that I really like, and it's my first home. So making it my own has been very, very important to me. And just like with organizing and kind of staying on top of everything at home while still having a job. And I felt that that would be a really great channel to have, especially like for those who are working moms with families. Um, it's a lot of things to juggle. So I am going to be doing a second channel to put some of those house videos on, because I don't want to mix the two channels. I don't want the lettered classroom to become a all in one shot of stuff. The lettered classroom is I want it to be very distinct, and it has a strict purpose, and the purpose is to provide some type of learning to all of you, some type of um, information that you can take back into your own classrooms and apply it. So I'm not going to put it on this channel, but I'm going to put it on a different channel. Let's see. What are the boundaries for showing there are some teachers who have like tattoos all over their arms. It depends on where you teach and your principal, I think. So I hope that makes sense, Riley. Riley, I hope I said your name right. I'm sorry if I did not. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Let's see. How do you deal with kids aggravating or getting on each other's nerves? This happens all the time, y'all. Especially when there's a full moon. My husband laughs at me, but I swear to you, during a full moon, kids go crazy. It's just the way it is. They go crazy. But I lost the sorry. But I feel like I just take them out and I'm like, guys, what is wrong? What's going on? You know, here are the things that I'm noticing. Let's go back to kind of our classroom promises and our things that we're promising to one another. And are we showing that to one another? And, you know, I get it. We're going to get on each other's nerves sometimes. It's like brothers and sisters. We're all going to get on each other's nerves, but we need to handle them in appropriate ways. So I can just kind of pull them aside and I just talk to them. And that's really about it. I give them their space. They kind of take their space with each other, and then everything's fine. It's funny. Like they're fine after like 30 minutes, and they're going back to talking. You're like, you guys were just at each other's throats just a minute ago, but they're good. Kids are funny that way. I don't know. Let's see. Yay, second channel. Yay, I'm so glad that you like that. That's nice. Oh, Michelle, that's cute. I let my kids stand on their chairs to present their work, all because of watching your videos of the Ron Clark Academy. It's a great confidence builder. They love it. Oh my gosh, they do love it, right? I take a I'm taking a really big initiative this year in getting my kids up and talking with each other and presenting and really kind of sharing their ideas with one another. So I'm doing a lot of public speaking and practices throughout the year. So the kids have been getting up and they've been like going through lessons, and they've been assessing me, and I've been assessing them as teachers. And we get them focused on really standing up and making eye contact, and, you know, not looking at me, but looking at the audience. And it's been great. It's great. They're really enjoying it. Some of them are extremely timid with it, so I kind of hold back on them just a little bit, but they're doing a great job and they absolutely love it. They love it. Let's see. You guys are so sweet. You're sweet. Love your positivity. I try to stay positive. Let me tell you, that's the only thing I can. That's what keeps me together, is trying to remain positive. There is always light at the end of the tunnel, right? Um, let's see. Okay, so Roderick, how many procedures do you implement in your classroom at the start of the year? I go pretty slow. I don't try to implement a ton of them. And I always go back to this exact same example every single time. Think about a conference that you go to for teaching, Roderick, and at this teaching conference, they have all of these great ideas. They have these great ideas for math, and they have these great ideas for reading and for writing, and you get really stoked and you're super excited and you're going back and you're enthusiastic about implementing it inside of your classroom. And so all of a sudden you do all of these ideas. The chances of those ideas being successful and truly showing the growth and the excitement that you want them to show is very small because you're doing so much at one time. It's like information overload. And you probably have like misinterpreted things because you have all these crazy ideas going down in your head, and it's information overload. And I almost feel like sometimes you leave those conferences and your head's about to bust. Those kids' heads are going to bust if you try to give them way too many procedures all at once. They're going to be like information overload. So you have to make sure that you're kind of taking it a step back and doing a couple of things at a time, not giving them too many things, and making sure that the things that they are doing and the procedures that you are making them do is extremely good quality. Because the moment that you add on something else, they're going to want to let go of some of that quality from the other procedure that you've given them and let go of it. So if you introduce things too soon, like it all just starts falling apart. So I go pretty slow at the very beginning of the year, which is kind of why we're a little more behind than what other teachers are behind. But because I am a stickler about things, and I'm just like, absolutely not, I'm not accepting this. So I go really, really slow. I hope that answers your question. Let's see. I know you've been away from kindergarten, but how do you deal with transition? This year, I'm losing control. Oh, I don't want that to happen. Um, Transitions. I'm assuming you're talking about like transitions going from one activity to another activity. Um, I had different things. I used poetry a lot. I used songs a lot. So the kids got used to the fact that I would start singing a song. They would start singing the song with me. I would expect it, and if not, we would sit back down and we would try it all over again. And I kept doing that over and over and over. And I said, nope, sorry, we're doing this wrong. We're taking too long. We're going to go sit back down. And we would sit back down. So I would do songs a lot, and then I would do smaller groups oftentimes and say, so and so and so and so, come sit down. So and so and so and so. And I know that it feels like that will take long, but I promise you, the more and more and more you do it, the faster the kids get at it. The very first time is going to be the longest, but then tomorrow it's going to be just a little bit better. And then the next day, a little bit better. Um, so I like using songs, especially songs that we're using in our reading. So our poetry songs that we're using, I will always use those. I will do countdowns. I will do timers. Anything that tries to get them motivated to do it, I will separate them inside of groups. I will tell them that if they, I used to have, I don't know if you guys remember, I had like Super Steve, the little superhero doll that like hung, and then certain tables would get him, and I would move him around and say, so and so has Super Steve and so has Super Steve, because they did a great job. So the kids were always at competition with one another, and they really enjoyed that. So anything, I feel like, for especially kindergarten, you need to make it novelty. Novelties reel them in, and it sucks them in, and they absolutely love it. So try that out and see if it works. I hope it works. I'm really sorry. Transitions are awful sometimes. Awful. How do you keep your mini lessons mini, and how do you meet with your groups? How long do you meet with your groups? And this is from the Bowtie Teacher. Hi. So my mini lessons. When I plan, y'all, I plan with a target in mind. a focus that I'm working on. So if I say in this lesson, I want my kids to be able to ask a question about a character. I had this conversation with the teacher and I said this was probably one of the best conversations ever I had with a teacher, like in my school. But she came to me, said, "What kind of books are you using in your small groups?" She goes, "I feel like I'm not finding enough resources." And I said, "You have to think, is the purpose of this lesson to read and comprehend an entire piece of text? Or is the purpose of this lesson to be able to really and truly dissect a piece of this text and then like giving them, a separate text independently for them to be able to read, finding that information and being able to pull it out?" So I will oftentimes use my read aloud. So what are we reading right now? Is it Wish? Wish. I think it's Wish. She's a cute girl with a beagle dog in the front. It's really adorable. Um, but I will take my read aloud book and I'll make copies of it. I know. But I will make copies of it and we'll dissect a piece of it and it'll go super quick. So I focus on my I can statement. I focus on what is the purpose of this lesson? Is the purpose of the lesson for me to teach them a brand new book and have them comprehend this whole new text? Or is the purpose of this lesson for them to really be able to dissect this skill? Once I introduce that, then I can say, hey, the next day, I'm going to give you a piece of text. I want you to have this read before you come to me. Then we can kind of have a conversation really quick. Okay, well, let's look at this part that you read inside of this text. Or where did you see this skill that we're focusing on in this part of this text? And then we can start to dissect it from there. That is a separate way. That's a different skill that I'm focusing on. The first one, it was just learning about the skill in this one little section. The second way that I did it, I had them go back. I had them try to read it and comprehend it. And then they had to be able to tell me, okay, this is the section where I would be able to apply this skill. So you have to remember and ask yourself, what is the purpose of this lesson? What is the objective that I want them to meet? And really making sure that you're scaffolding it enough for them. So it goes super quick. I give them lots of practice. I try to stick to the 70-20 for my content block, like my subject block. So 20% of that time is with me, 70% of that time is of them working on the skill independently. Hope that answers your question. Do I say that a lot? I'm sorry. I repeat words a lot. I'm a repeater. Are you going to make a 2018 planner, the smaller one? Yes, it'll come out in December. Oh, thanks, Stephen. My band teacher used to tell me I have pretty eyes too. He was a nice man, nice old man. He was very kind. Let's see. My goodness, I am thirsty as all get out. What is something you wish you knew before transitioning grade levels? I don't know if it was see, here's the thing, y'all. I don't know if it was the transitioning grade levels or if it was the fact that I had a lot of change going on in my life at that time. So I feel like I can't really answer that question well. But what I do actually wish that I did have was there was a book that I had read and it had a oh bless it be, I can't remember it. But there was a book and it was by The Responsive Classroom. But this book would be able to tell you, it would kind of talk about the different ages and really get you understanding each age and developmentally where were they at and physically where were they at, emotionally where were they at. That book, I wish I had it at the very beginning of the year, because in that book I was like, oh, this is why they're like this. This is why they're like this. This all explains everything to me. Because I kept thinking, well, shouldn't they be able to do this? Shouldn't they be able to do this? But they couldn't. Developmentally, they weren't there yet. So that's probably the one thing. And if I can think of the book, I will try to like put it in here later on. But I can't think of the book for some reason right now. Let's see. Um, your classroom always looks so organized and put together. You've inspired me to keep my classroom in tip-top shape. Okay, so let me tell you this. My classroom is not always like that. My classroom is actually sometimes a big mess. And depending on how busy I am for the week, but I have been listening to on an audiobook, and some of you can tell me if you've read this, teacher. Um, but I have been listening to the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And I am in a completely like I want to just trash everything mode and be very minimal. I even said that in the vlog today. Said I'm going to start throwing everything away and just become extremely minimal because I'm tired of having so much junk. There's no point to it half the time. Um, let's see. Do you watch any other teacher YouTubers? If so, who? Okay, you guys can't hate me for this, okay? But I don't watch a ton. I think the only person I like watch faithfully is Tina. So I watch her because she was actually a YouTuber before me and I started watching her. Um, and her style was a little bit different back then, but I watched Tina and I still watch Tina, but I don't watch anyone else. And here is why. Like, not to because I want to hate on anyone, and it's not true at all. For a few different reasons. One, I tried to make sure that I put technology away and I try to spend time with my kids. Two, I need to separate myself from what other teachers are doing sometimes. Does this make sense? I guess this is not making sense to anyone. I feel like there is a lot of there are a ton of teachers out there that are on social media that are doing their thing, that are kind of putting up products and things on Teachers Pay Teachers, and they're putting up all of these like videos and Instagram posts and things like that. And I've become very overwhelmed by it to the point where I've tried to start separating myself from it because I don't know, like I feel like I can't like answer this question the right way. I don't know. I want to spend time with my family, and I feel like I need to find other things that I enjoy that's outside of teaching too. Does that make sense? Like I don't want to always it's always about teaching, because yes, I love teaching. I love it. It is my passion. It was what I was meant to do with my life. But at the same time, like I don't want to burn myself out with it. Does that make sense? I want to do other things, which is a kind of another reason for the second channel too. Like it is my creative outlet away from teaching, and it is something that brings me joy and it calms me that is outside of teaching. So I don't watch a ton of people, and the people that I do watch that are on YouTube are not teachers, like because that's my leisure time. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. Oh, all right, here we go. Let's see. I'm cute. Thanks. I look like a mess. You are so nice. Let's see. Yardsticks. Oh my gosh. Yes. You guys are awesome. Yardsticks. That's the book. I needed that book in my life when I transitioned grades. You guys are phenomenal. You're on top of it. You know your stuff. How do you keep your kids engaged while reading? Deborah, I'm assuming that you're going to talk about like independent reading. How do I keep them engaged with independent reading? I model it for them. I read with them and I talk about books and I get engaged with them and I, share these experiences in my books with them. But at the very beginning of the year, I sat down and I read with them. So instead of me walking around, instead of me doing, cleaning up my desk area or checking my emails or doing something else, I sat down and I pulled out a book and I read it. And I modeled for my students what it looked like to be a reader. And I felt like that was incredibly important. And I had conversations about books with my kids. And now that's all they want to do is just talk about what's going on in their book. And oh, Miss Backman, do you remember when you read this part in this book? And this was so, and they come in, they share different books. Hey, this was such a funny part. I got to show it to you. And they absolutely love it. I think another thing that really kind of increased my engagement inside of my classroom with reading is I have now gotten my kids to become the presenters for their books. So an example would be, and I know I talked about this in maybe in one of my vlogs, or maybe I didn't in my vlogs. I'm not sure when I started to cut it off. But I had my kids stand up and I said, hey guys, and I actually did a lesson first. And I said, I want you to look for, some of those extrinsic characteristics. And I showed them some inside of text, and we got to, create a picture in our head and draw out that picture of those extrinsic characteristics based on what the author was giving us from a text. And so then I had them going out and they got to find it in their own books. And because my school is one-to-one, we have these wonderful devices of technology. They were able to take pictures of their text that showed or that had extrinsic characteristics. And so my kids would come up and they would bring it up to group the next day and they would pull it out and they would start reading it. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to have you guys, put it up on the TV and just share it with everybody. So they got to stand up on the stage. They got to put their book up and show where exactly they found these extrinsic characteristics. And they got to read it to the group and really have this conversation with them, as group members versus me always being the one that was up there. And I think that also really got them engaged and excited about really applying some of the skills that we were learning to their own reading. I hope that makes sense. Teaching is a lot of work, girl. Yes, it is so much work. So much work. Tina, Laws. I was wondering what happened to you over the last 2 Saturdays. Glad you're back. Oh, thanks. You're so nice. Let's see. That makes sense. You guys are talking to each other, so I'm trying to decipher which ones you guys are asking questions and which ones you guys are just kind of giving some really sweet comments. Yes, you make sense. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys confirm when I make sense, because sometimes I wonder, it all makes sense in my head, but when I put it out in words, I just don't know sometimes. Let's see. It is important to have balance. Y'all, it's so important. And I've been really trying to figure out that balance more and more lately. And I do so much between the lettered classroom and, my job and my family and everything else. And I love every single bit of it. But I need to also make sure that in this process of me, giving myself here, giving myself there, and giving myself here, that I'm also thinking about giving to myself. So I try to stay away from a lot of other elements things that you just do on a day-to-day basis and just enjoy you as a person. So, which is why I binged. I know it's not binging over a week, but when you have a job and you have children, it's binging when you watch them all in a week. At least for me, it is. Let's see. I've been having a hard time meeting all of my students for small groups during math. What do you recommend? I guess what I would need to know first before I can recommend anything is, one, how many groups do you have? And then 2, how big is your block during math? Those 2 are really important factors. So for me, I go super quick. In the beginning, it went really, really slow, but my kids have gotten to the point where they know exactly what it is that's expected of them. Now, I don't teach whole group, which is a whole thing. So I only teach small groups, and my kids will come in and they write down their targets for the day. And these are the items that they're focusing on to get completed for the day in order to be able to reach the target that they are trying to reach. Does that make sense? So they come in immediately, they get it written down. As soon as they get it written down, lately I've been checking it just because I want to make sure that they're writing them down correctly. And then they go off and they get to work immediately. There is no, I'm going to talk to you guys for a minute, and then that leads into 5 or 10 minutes, and that I could have had a group in that 10 minutes. So everything has gotten to the point where it's like butter. Like, it's so smooth. The kids come in, they get to work, they move, they go out, they get started, and there's like no discussion between any of it. So it's just figuring out a routine that works best for you, best for your class, and that you just practice it until it's perfect. Practice till it's perfect. Let's see. Did that make sense, guys, on that? I hope that makes sense. Oh, Katie, you've become my new favorite person on the face of the planet. You said I look like Audrey Hepburn. You're sweet. Let's see. Do you have a teacher's aide in your classroom? So at our district, they're not called teacher's aides. They're student assistants or learner assistants. So they assist learners. They're not there to assist me. They're there to assist my learners who need the extra help. So she comes in, and I do have one. I have one in math. I actually have someone who comes in. I have a push-in teacher during writing and for science. And then I also have the same one that I had for math in reading. So I have somebody in my room pretty much the entire day. And she will work with students during that time. So yes, to answer your question, kind of. I have 5 groups and 26 kids, a 75-minute math block. I mean, that's doable. Are you doing it in like 15 minutes? 15 minutes? You should, maybe that's doable. A lot of the times I try to make sure that any materials I have, I do them super quick. Like some of my lessons are not really fast, and sometimes it's practice. Other times, certain lessons with certain groups are going to take a little bit longer because it's like the introductory lesson with them. But then after that, like I just start pushing them along. And again, it all goes back to me making sure that I have my targets ready to go. If I know exactly what my objective is and what is my focus for that lesson, like, it goes by so fast because I don't get caught up in all of the other parts to math. I say, hey, we're going to work just on number forms, and we're putting numbers into expanded form. That is my focus. Boom, let's do it. We're practicing it and it's done. So I hope that kind of helps. Like, targets are my baby. That is what I stick with. Do you teach kids with IEPs? Yes. Let's see. What do you use for science instruction? Do you have to implement the next generation science standards? Yes, we do. The way the MAC team works, we have it kind of split into 3 different cycles. So we've taken all of the science units for 4th, 5th, 6th, and all of the social studies unit for 4th, 5th, 6th, and we've split them. So the kids are getting all of the content for 4th, 5th, 6th, all for like a specific area. So for life science. So this year we're teaching life science and economics. And then that is it. And then they'll get the other standards later on. Within the next 2 years that they're with us. How do you group your kids in small groups for math? Do you meet with all of them? I do meet with all of them every single day. At the beginning of the year, they were given a pre-assessment, and based on the pre-assessment, we kind of pinpointed the areas of need, and then they were grouped within those areas. So I have a lot of I have a 3rd grade place value unit, or those kids are kind of getting a lot of review for 3rd grade, and then they're also getting the 4th grade standards with it. So they're kind of doing a 3rd and then a 4th, and then go back to 3rd and 4th, depending on what the standard is itself. And then I have kids who are solely on 4th grade, and some of them are kind of moving at faster paces. We do lots of quick checks to kind of determine whether or not they're truly understanding the material that is being taught at that time. Let's see. Like any more kids for me? Never. Never gonna happen. Um, let's see. I don't know. You guys are so awesome. Y'all have a lot of questions. You're so sweet. I am starting to get sleepy. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but like, look at my bags. I'm getting really, really tired. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to stop this chat. I have truly you guys are wonderful. Um, yeah. Oh, I'm reading some of your messages. Sorry. You guys are really great. Thank you so much for kind of joining in. I know it was kind of late. I'm getting really sleepy, so then I'm gonna go to bed. I don't do well really late at night. I'm one of those people that I have to go to bed at 9 o'clock. And especially with the time change, I've been going to bed at 7. Like it's crazy, y'all. Like anybody else have this same problem? Like you're going to bed really, really early because it's getting dark really early. At least in the East Coast, like it is dark so much of the day. It is ridiculous that I've been going to bed so early every single day, but I'm really tired. But thank you guys so much for joining in. I promise you the vlog will be up on Sunday morning. So definitely come back to the channel, check me out Sunday morning so that you can kind of get an update for what I was doing this week and how I was catching up and all of that good jazz. I will go back to vlogging every single week and getting those posted up for you guys. I hope your school year is going well. If you're in school, I hope that's going well for you as well. Remember, stay positive, and yeah, just smile. Like life is good. If bad things are happening, all you gotta do is smile. Like you're gonna get through it. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I hope everybody's school year is going well. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Rest up, go take a bubble bath, drink a glass of wine, watch Stranger Things, treat yourself. So I hope you guys have a great weekend and thanks for tuning in, guys. Love you all. Bye.